My final guest on the Ayn Pratt Academy is Anat Silverstone. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
You're the chief operating officer here?
Yes.
You run the place.
Yes, more or
The
less.
CEO appears to run the place, but you really do the job, right?
The actual thing, yeah.
Okay, but you went through this whole program?
I did.
And
yeah,
you
4
couldn't
years
leave
ago.
it?
I wouldn't leave.
But don't you want to get on and get your degrees? And
I see the academy as part of my life. It became really, this is where I live, this is my community.
you live here all year?
I live here, and I've been here for the past 4 years while completing my MA.
You did your MA in
yes.
what subject?
Gender Studies.
Gender Studies?
At Bar-Ilan University.
I see. And so what does gender studies and this program have to do with one another?
First of all, I think it's two things that are part of my life personally. I think being here in this place, it involves a lot of things that has to do with my identity, my Jewish identity, my Israeli identity. And one thing that I personally deal with in my life also is gender as part of my identity. And I bring it here also. I teach a little bit of gender here.
I see. One of the things I got a sense of, it may relate to gender too, you tell me, is when we talk to the students and Danielle about leadership, I didn't get the same message about leadership that you usually get. You know, leaders are strong, give direction, and do all these kinds of things. And even when I said, are you doing this as a matter of duty, they didn't like that idea. And so you get a different sense. There's a modesty, there's a kind of, if I might say, a feminine caring. Is that what your experience is?
I think it's an interesting insight. I think it's true that the kind of leadership that we talk about here is very different from what usually people use the word leadership as. It's like someone who knows the truth and wants to lead people to follow him. And we talk differently. The kind of leadership that we talk here involves listening and involves being open-minded.
Well, I have to tell you a story about this.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it'd be, relevant. Because when I came here in Yom Kippur, which is why I'm back to do the show, that's what I had a discussion with a Lieberman follower, right wing, and a left wing got involved in the conversation. Instead of a fight, they actually listened to each other, and that was quite magical.
It's a different kind of discussion. It's realizing that if I have my own truth and I believe in it, and you have a different point of view, different things that you believe in, it doesn't mean we can't talk. The contrary, we should talk. We should listen to each other. I think you can really be confident in what you believe in once you know in an intimate way the other side. You really know it deeply and you understand it, but still you choose your own way. But you have to know the other side in order to really be confident in what you believe.
Well, the characterization I gave it is, Israelis are really great. They're energetic, they're creative, they're all kinds of things. But they're not very civil, by and large. I mean, there's a lot who are very, but uncivility is part of a characteristic of the culture, pushing, aggressive, etc. And you seem to be running contrary to type, that the future leadership is about teaching Israeli civility. Is that an accurate summary?
No, I think, first of all, I think this place shows that things can be different. Things are different here. People listen, people are not judgmental, they're open. There's still an Israeli atmosphere here in a manner that the energy, what we call in Hebrew the dugri, tachlis, saying what you believe in, but not in a rude way, not in a I know the truth and you don't, but being very open and saying what you believe in, knowing that the other side will listen and won't judge you, and they might think differently, but it doesn't matter, and so we're not very like politically correct, and people can say what they really believe in, talk from the kishkis, from the stomach, but still it will be cultural. It will be with listening to the other side.
So when
more
you're
civil,
teaching,
like you say.
when you're teaching Zionism, does that mean you bring in right-wingers and left-wingers and the whole
Everything.
spectrum? So they are taught
Everything.
by the whole spectrum.
What we bring is the actual text. Even if we study Bible, we read it as it is, and from it we realize how relevant it is for today's life, and it turns into a political discussion, an educational discussion, a religious discussion, but it comes from every side of the scale, and there's a variety of ideas, a variety of opinions, and it's all here. It's all in the Bet Midrash.
And do you see your future as this is your future career, or are you going to go back and do a PhD and teach in a university? How do you see your future?
I do believe that I'll go on the academy and hopefully write a doctorate. That's my own.
On the academy?
No, I mean academia.
Oh,
academia.
I see.
Sorry, that's the same word in Hebrew.
Yeah.
I want to accomplish more things in my own academic career, but I don't see it as something that can go with my career here. And I feel like even if I won't be here in 10 years, this will always be my community, my friends. It's like a family.
And do you see, for example, what's the future of this organization? You're an operating officer. You must be part of the decision making of where it's going.
First of all, I see it grow. I see it growing. I was here 4 years ago when we were 7 people in a group.
Oh, so you were part of the original group.
Yes, not the first one, the third, but we started very small, and now we have 60 students per semester, and it's growing and growing. In the summer we have a special program for university students, which hopefully will have about 140 students, and the community is growing. We have a wonderful and thriving alumni community of about 520 people. And we're growing so rapidly that in 2 or 3 years we'll have 1,000 alumni, and that's a movement. That's a lot of people bringing a new message to Israeli society.
How would you summarize the message?
What the message?
Yeah.
All people coming out of this Bet Midrash, they go out, and as students, as parents, as lawyers, as teachers, they have a different message of being of learning, of being a person that learns always studying new things, and to be connected to your identity. Either it's your Jewish identity, your Israeli identity, your identity as part of the Western culture of your country, of your community, to be involved, to be socially involved, and also what we spoke about earlier about being a person that listens, a caring person, open-minded, to listen to other people, and with that, along with that, to believe in what you're doing and going your own way, and realizing that it doesn't have to be in conflict.
What about, do you ever think of bringing Christians here, evangelical Christians, Catholics, or even Muslims, etc.? I mean, they're Muslim Israelis.
That's a good question. First of all, this is called, well, most of what we deal here is Judaism. A lot of what we do here is Judaism.
But there's no reason Christians or Muslims can't study Judaism.
That would be a wonderful challenge for us. That would be more than interesting. I think we study here. We have a short course about Christianity, and we have a short course about Islam. They study a bit of the Quran and a bit of the New Testament. I think that would be an interesting challenge for the academy.
One last question. Do you ever characterize yourself as Jewish missionaries? Is that erroneous?
I don't think so. I think people who come here, they're Jews, but they don't always understand what it means, or more than that, what it means for them. And we offer the students coming here to figure that out, to figure out what it means for them to be Jewish, because they do define themselves as Jews. But what does that mean? What does that say about my life, about how I live, about my choices? And they come here and we give them the tools and the motivation to figure that out. And some of them will want to be more involved in studying and in really keeping the Jewish mitzvot
Well, you know,
really practically. And some of them will continue living as they are, but they will be as secular and won't do any of the mitzvot, but they will realize what it means for them to be Jewish.
well, you know, it seems to me it's a Jewish form of know thyself, you know, in the Socratic idiom. It combines those two elements. Anyway, I want to thank you very much for being on the show, and it's a very interesting movement.
Thank you. Thank you very much.